Okay, we added the timeline that you all requested last time in the more precise, and then what we will be doing, and then what kind of development we will be starting. Yeah, so this.
Do they pay at the version 0.5? Do they pay?
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, what we're planning to do that is just it's like to sell it into like in a really low price, maybe just like $2 to $5, just to make sure that it's like, okay, this is the thing that people willing to pay for that.
Okay, what you want to do is have you heard of AppSumo?
APP.
Sumo wrestler sumo, SUMO.
AppSumo. So software deal site for entrepreneurs.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you what they did, and actually I bought into some of their things. Okay, so there are a lot of people who have business ideas, mostly tech. And then what happened is they need cash. They need cash to kind of keep the business going, to grow the functions, modules, right? So there's one app that is called Lender App. Okay, lenderapp.com. I bought this when MailChimp and MailerLite were not giving free landing pages at that point of time. Okay, so I bought a plan. So what happened is their monthly plan was 49 USD. Okay, every month you need to pay 49 USD, and then you get access to build landing pages. So when they first launched, they did a partnership with AppSumo. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. They actually did a $49 per month. But when you buy this at $49 per month, you get access for 5 years or 10 years. I think mine is a 10-year one. What you want to do is consider something that is about maybe 2 years, 3 years. So let them know the value that they're getting. And these are what we call your early actually they are earlier than early adopters, right?
Yes.
So you want to also reward them because they came on board, they believe in your product. But of course, right now they have already adjusted their pricing. So it's much affordable now. It's like $16 per month. But you can see if you go to their website, it was $49 per month. That was the price I paid many years ago. Yeah. Sorry, it's called Lender App. The one that I paid for. It was a deal on AppSumo. So I think you can reach out to AppSumo as well. They have a huge database. See whether you can work something out with them if you are really considering your GTM. Okay, so what's the difference between GTM? Okay, so if you go pricing on Lender App, then you see the usual price is 49. Okay. So that was the price I paid. I think when they first launched, they had something. It wasn't great, but they were one of those few that was in the market, and it was a attractive deal, $49 for 10 years of access. So that's one way to kind of get cash in, and your GTM as well But I would think 10 years is a bit long because but it's an attractive thing, right? So that's what you're going to get when you have such attractive offers
I see.
So what's the difference between this GTM and your timeline? GTM means what are the platforms you will go into to help you get brand awareness, leads, paying customers. So that's the difference. Your timeline to build your version 0.5, 1.0, I wouldn't really ask you to approach AppSumo with a 0.5 version. I would think that it would be more fairer if it's a 2.0, because they only partner with platforms that they kind of have validated that it's good. Okay, so they have a process. Of course, they take a cut from whatever that you sell, but it's a good way to get brand awareness out. And they have been around for very long. The guy is quite smart, the founder of that company, AppSumo. Okay, so so that's the difference, right? So what are the platforms? Social media might be one, but you need to dive deeper into what are you going to do within social media. Are you going to focus more on benefits, processes in the forms of graphics on Instagram, and then on Facebook, you'll do maybe live videos, live demos, take questions, do training, and then once you do the training ready, you can promote that video, edit it, post it on YouTube, do a YouTube advertising as well. So that is your GTM. I feel like I need to do another session with everybody. Everybody is not very clear on the GTM, but that is your GTM. Okay, so
Okay.
that is the difference between your timeline for your launch and your phase 1, 2, 3, 4. In terms of modules, in terms of the key features that's going to be in your app. Okay, so AppSumo is just one example. I believe there are many other platforms available out there for you to go to market.
Okay, so it just to summarize what you say, and correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, timeline is more towards like the overview of okay what you were doing, okay, or on what time. So for the go-to-market strategy is more towards like in detail. Okay, what do you do in phase 1 in specific? Yeah, and then it's like okay, like for
In
phase.
terms of market share, yes. In terms of market share, meaning that you are ready, you want to onboard X amount of customers. So you have to state, I want to onboard 100 customers to try my 0.5 version. I want to onboard like maybe 1,000 customers in phase 1. Then your GTM will be, how are you going to do so? What are the tactics to get you there? AppSumo can be one, YouTube ads can be one, Facebook ads, right? Because Facebook has more targeting options, right? Those who are interested, those who follow Shopify, those who, and so on and so forth. And Facebook will give you a better, more accurate targeting. Okay, of course, there are some changes going on with Apple and everything, but
Yeah, I heard about it.
yeah, but the data is still there. So although it's old, it will be old eventually. So the more recent you're going to use those data captured by Facebook, you might still be able to gather what we call an audience that you can create as a lookalike eventually. But all this require a bit of budget. My clients who have $1,000 budget per month, they have to wait like maybe 4 to 6 months to collect enough data. Clients who have $2,000 advertising budget, meaning that the money that they pay to Facebook and Instagram, that's excluding paying us as an agency, will get data faster, 2 to 3 months. That is the difference you need to think through. There are, say, startup events, right? Can you buy a booth? Can you collaborate with even Q10? Can you give them a cut? If you help their business owners do better, scale their business, it also means more money for them. Yes. So these are things where you want, in your GTM strategy, you want to map it out. You want to be very clear who you're going to reach out to. You're going to start reaching out. Once you have a 0.5 version, you want to arrange for meetings. You want to, and people try and give you feedback already before you arrange for meetings, because there might be a lot of bugs. You don't want them to feel that maybe like it's not so ready, right? And so on. But they might be able to partner with you depending on who you reach out to, in terms of getting people on board as well. So the good thing about social media and digital marketing today is sometimes when you reach out to people through social media, you might be directed to the right person. Sometimes you reach out to someone, a company, through the website, you might not be directed to the right person. So to a certain extent, the hierarchy of getting to the right person, or even LinkedIn, etc., has actually breached that. So it's actually a good thing for you guys right now. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, so just run me through, so you'll get the clarity between the timeline for your development, and you need a bit more details. Okay, so timeline for development and the go-to-market strategy is different.
So actually, for what you say, I think it's something like, so actually our phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, right, it's more towards like how are you going to sell it's like it's like, so basically it's like phase 1 is like our target customer is like 100, phase 2 is like 1,000 to 2,000, phase 3 trying to achieve like 10,000 and more. So and then this is the thing that we try to do.
So this is okay, just that it needs more details.
Yeah.
And also like even your 0.5, how many users are you going to onboard then? Phase 1, I think 100 might be okay, but try to be detailed, like how are you going to get to that 100? Because you probably need to reach and like at least like 1,000 people before that 100 decide. And what's that offer you're going to make, just like what Lender app did, right? So these are your GTM strategies. So you need to be more detailed.
I see. I get it.
In your GTM.
Okay. So basically for now, because it's like our timeline, we did like two, or it's like two of it lah. Okay, so this is more towards like, okay, what is the features and what is the focus on our development for our product. Okay, so it's like the first part will be like streamline process, and then the second one will be the automation. So the streamline process will be like more towards like API integration of core platform or selling side inventory and supply, and then semi-automated inventory management system. So it's like it's like the seller don't need to enter or key so many things in manual. It just need to like click on the button. It's like to ensure that it's like, okay, this is the thing that coming in, this is the thing that going out, just need a double confirm. Okay, so basically this is like the specs of what we'll be developing. So is it like GTM, right? Is so basically they're doing the same thing as this, but in just in detail, like phase one collaboration. Okay, this type of collaboration. Okay, what campaign are we going to do, and what specific things, like, okay, are we going to host event, or are we going to like having talks or these kind of things in more specific, right?
Talks, webinar, is it? Like, yeah. More specific, and also the timeline to it. Like, if I say like, okay, my timeline is March, means that my GTM might be like February maybe, to publish size about this event, right? So it needs to be concurrent. That's why marketing department is different from development department. You need to coincide your timeline. You need to work backwards, right? And of course, be realistic in the timeline. If you do things like so closely, then maybe the development, if you kind of meet like a bit of setbacks, then it kind of like bring everyone a bit more on the edge, and stressful about all this development thing. So basically, it's how you are going to get to that growth. Typically, in terms of GTM, we are looking for a chart that shows the X amount of users and things like that. So this timeline is more which is okay, but I think it would be good that you have an additional slide to add on these details. Because digital marketing, then the question is, what are you going to do with digital marketing? There's more than 8 things in digital marketing, 10 things. So what are you going to do specifically? If we talk about digital marketing, there's also SEO. Are you going to write a blog article once a month? Right? Are you going to kickstart blog articles with like 3 to 4, meaning the first month or the first 2 months, you have 1 article every week? So you need to write all this into your GTM plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's in a really, really specific manner what to do and what we offer and what we target.
Correct.
And then what the
Correct. Yeah. So I think a lot of teams are confused because maybe due to time we were not able to drill down, but basically you cannot just say social media, you cannot just say digital marketing. You must say like digital marketing, there is SEO, there's Instagram, there is email marketing, and I'm going to integrate these 3. And in SEO, I'm going to do, in the first 2 months, I'm going to do 1 article every week, meaning this is all pre-planned and scheduled to launch. And after I publish it on my website, promote it on Instagram, I'm going to promote it on Facebook so that more people are aware of my blog article, they can click and read it, they can I can onboard them for my version 0.5 or my version 1.0 after X amount of users. And then I'm going to promotion every single week for 2 months. And we're going to, actually on the first month, we're going to measure, right? We're going to measure how many people we onboard and then try to improve and optimize the return on investment in terms of signups for your trials or even your webinars, right? From your blog posts. So what's that whole plan that you're going to have, and eventually you're going to tighten it up and do better for the second month. So that's what you want to do with your GTM, which you can start planning, and then that's where I can give you feedback. But if it's so broad, it's very hard for me to give you detailed feedback. Yeah, that's right. Actually, if you don't mind, I will just edit just now that clip on my explanation, and I'll just send it out into the venture building program, so Gus can tell everyone, because I think a lot of teams that I spoke with is quite confused on this. I also feel so bad. I don't know which part was it that wasn't very clear, but Yeah, so this is the part that really you guys need to you don't need a full plan. At least you have like a okay, this is what I'm going to do in the next 3 to 6 months. Then that's where I can kind of give you feedback and help you pay attention and prioritize what you want to do. It's because you are a lean team, very small team. It's not possible to do everything at one go. But if we are able to identify certain gaps, that's when maybe SUTD will say that, hey, maybe we arrange another training and we dive deeper and prioritize like to help these startups to go to market. Promotions maybe you can launch it for Malaysia audience. What are the promotions you can launch for Indonesia audience, Thailand audience, right? So things like that. And who are your collaborators, right? Can someone from Shopee link you up with someone from Shopee Thailand? Okay. I mean, to a certain extent, COVID-19 has really actually done a lot of things. You now don't need to fly down to meet these people. You can just have a Zoom call with them.
Yes.
Right. So you want to at least type all these things down so you know that someone who is in charge of marketing, at least when you all always look back at your GTM plan, you know like what else you all need to think through. At least you list out certain point forms so you know that okay, it's not as detailed, but I will look at it eventually, right? So what's your focus? The next phase, what's your focus on GTM? Third phase, fourth phase, and so on and so forth. And you say digital marketing, what of digital marketing are you going to concentrate on? I think I have some videos I will share with you. I think it gives an overview of what digital marketing is about. Okay, so like when we talk about digital marketing, it involves anything digital. Podcast is also digital. YouTube is also digital, right? Although it's a social platform and so on and so forth. So all these are all digital platforms. So how are you going to integrate it? So I'll send you some videos that I have already uploaded on my YouTube. Then you all can kind of like watch and then ask questions before our next meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sure. So you will be sharing in the WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, I'll share in the WhatsApp.
Okay. Okay, then we will watch it these few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Leo showed me like $100 and then it's like we are thinking like $100 a bit too much for users. So we
no lah, but actually to a certain extent, okay, let me share with you a slide that I just prepared for one of my client session next week. I stop your screen there first.
Okay.
I have a video that I recorded about Nikki. He had a call with me a few weeks back. I think three weeks back before the GTM session. 3 to 4 weeks back. Okay, so basically, I also went through something with him, but at that point of time, I didn't have the slides, but he had the numbers. He also realized that when a product has very low value, it's very hard to have a break-even point. Okay, and customer acquisition cost is very high for him. But of course, for his, it's a different set of issues. Once the video, I think, will be scheduled for next week, I'll send a link to you guys to watch. Okay, it's about an hour long. But for this one, okay, I worked out something very simple for my presentation next week. Okay, so if you look at this, calculating your return on investment per click on social media, if my client managed to get, because my client's only going to target women. Okay, so it's going to be more expensive. It's not like $1.50 to $2. It's probably $2.50 to $3.50. And if I calculate the total clicks that we are going to get from their budget, okay, their budget of $1,200 advertising budget, we are going to get total 377 clicks on the landing page. I explained to you what a landing page is the last round, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we get 377 click-throughs, it doesn't mean that we get 377 inquiries.
Yep.
You have to make an assumption on how many percentage of people you are going to acquire. So let's say I make an assumption of 10%, right? It's always good to be modest, okay? But sometimes 10% might even be too high. You might, at the end of the campaign, you might realize that, hey, my inquiry is only 5%. Then you need to do something about it to work towards 10%. Okay, so 37 packs, and out of these 37 packs, not all who inquire will become your paying customers, right? Not all who go on a free trial will become your recurring customers. Not all who go on your version 1.0 will continue with you in your 2.0, right? Okay, so we make an assumption that 30% out of 30%, oh, actually this is a 50%. Okay, 50%, 18 people actually took the paid trial. Okay, and the paid trial for them is 398. So we work out 18 packs times 398 is 7,000. Right, but that's from spending 1,200 lah.
Mm.
All right, so this is your basically your ROI, but of course they need to take into considerations what their man hours for providing this service, right?
What was it?
Man hours.
Their man hours,
Okay.
because someone needs to provide the service. What 398 doesn't just come to you and then you don't have to do anything, right?
Yes.
So your man hours and everything. So even with this positive ROI from spending 1,200, it might be just break even or even a loss. There is a possibility. Okay, so there is a chance. There is a chance that your ROI is high. You need to make assumptions first, and then we can decide whether the $100 was too much, $30 might be too little. So if we divide it out in terms of customer acquisition,
I see.
okay, it will be $1,200 divided by 18. How much is that?
Is it okay? Wait.
Acquisition is 1,200 divided by 18 packs, which is
Give me a second. 1,200 divided by 18, 66.667.
so it's actually there around there. But because your subscription plan is not going to be so expensive, so you might not you really need to make assumptions first. Okay, so this is a very good example of assumption made based on, you can throw a number 1,000, 1,002. The reason why I did 1,002 was because $1,000 was almost very hard to get a positive ROI. So and then you can make adjustments, because initially my assumption was also slightly on the higher side, but I decided to be more reserved in my assumptions as well. So it's always good to have a reserved assumption, a practical one, and then you can decide for yourself. Okay? But I want you to do this activity as well. Make assumptions first before we decide whether or not his number was too high or number is too low. Price it. So look at a pricing model, Shopmatic, all right, and then work this up. Is that okay? Yeah, I will include this in the video as well, because I think everyone is like a bit confused about the ROI calculation as well. Okay?
Can. Yeah. So can you send us the it's like
I'll send that to you, and then update me on this before the next meeting as well.
Okay.
All right. So I'll catch you all again probably after the New Year. Okay, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. See you all soon.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for your time.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The tidings we bring to you and your kid. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a